I say, serious tragedy of violence, trauma we've seen today that did happen to occur.
A homicide investigation going on right now in southern Indiana. A man was found dead at a Jeffersonville home. Police now working two scenes as a person of interest barricades themselves inside a different home after being spotted with a weapon by police. This is Wave News 6. I'm Brian Schlonsky. Myra is off. The initial 911 call came in just before 10 o'clock this morning to check on a man at a home in the 1700 block of Summerlin Place. Evidence at that place led police to a home on Callaway Drive and a person of interest just about 20 minutes after that. Wave News reporter Logan Perrone is live right now in Jeffersonville. Logan, what's the very latest?
Well, Brian, we know that police say they're investigating this as an isolated incident, and they confirmed to us that the victim as well as the person of interest were related. Like you said, it was around 10 a.m. that this first all unfolded. It was a welfare check in which Jeffersonville Police found a man dead inside the home here on Summerlin Place. Next door neighbors we spoke with say there was a man who lived there by himself. Now, police, again, like you had mentioned, were led to the 3000 block of Callaway Drive. That's where they found the person of interest, armed with a weapon, in what we've now learned to be the mother of that suspect's home. Police were able to contact him over the phone, and he didn't immediately come out. So a standoff ensued for a few hours. They drew him out with munitions before they could get him into custody. Now, officials, they asked the public not to be jumping to conclusions as they investigate.
I want everyone, let's please keep in mind we have a family that was infected, that was affected as a result of this here. So let's think about the family amongst us in our community. We've seen a lot of tragedy occur this week here in southern Indiana between Kentucky and this is something here today. So these families that have been impacted, understand we want to relay information. People want to get on social media. I'm asking with all account, let's keep all the families here in this metro area that's been affected by violence this week, and let's keep them and let's do what we can to be good stewards and neighbors to be supportive.
And police acknowledged some of the gruesome rumors are floating online about how that man was killed, but they did not get into any specifics. Now, as of this hour, police have not given us any indication into the identity of either the victim or the suspect. And as I mentioned, Brian, we did talk with some of those neighbors. We'll have more from them on Wave News at 11. We're live in Jeffersonville. Logan Perrone, Wave News.
All right, thank you so much, Logan. Meantime, LMPD is sharing more on what detectives have learned about two separate shootings that happened on Wednesday. These shootings ending the lives of two young mothers. One of them happened at a bus stop full of children. In the other case, a pregnant woman was caught in the crossfire. Wave News reporter Fernando Garcia-Francescini is joining us live now with new details and LMPD's call to the community. Fernando.
Yeah, Brian, one was near the bus stop behind me on 10th and Chestnut Street, the other in the Chickasaw neighborhood. Each of these shootings claiming the life of a young mother. LMPD has not made any arrests in any of these cases, and they're now asking for your help to bring justice to these families. Two Louisville families are desperately looking for answers and justice.
I had to watch my sister lay on that ground and take her last breath, and there's nothing I can do about it.
LMPD believes Radeja Williams was targeted while she walked her 7-year-old daughter to her bus stop Wednesday morning.
We have reviewed surveillance video. It shows our suspect in the red hoodie display a firearm, take aim, and fire in the direction of Miss Williams multiple times.
A second young mother was killed Wednesday night.
They not only killed my daughter, but they killed my grandson.
Our great nephew.
They killed my grandson as well.
Police say 28-year-old Jermia Offit, who was pregnant with her fourth child, was shot and killed in the parking lot of the Brothers Food Market in the Chickasaw neighborhood. LMPD says evidence shows Offit was not targeted.
Two groups of what appear to be juveniles or young adults approached each other, exchanged words, and one of those individuals displayed a firearm, firing it towards the other group, but unintentionally struck Miss Offit.
Police say there were several eyewitnesses to both shootings, and investigators say they need those accounts in order to bring closure to the grieving families.
These families deserve answers. And if it were your family member who was killed and you knew that the people in the community knew who did it, wouldn't you want them to come forward?
I spoke with Radasha's mom on the phone today. She tells me she is not surprised to hear that her daughter was targeted because she is still looking for justice for her son that was also shot in this same area on Halloween night last year. LMPD could not confirm whether it was Radasha's brother who was shot in this area on Halloween night of 2024, but a spokesperson with the department said there is an ongoing investigation into that shooting. Fernando Garcia, Francis Sheeny, Wave News.
All right, thank you, Fernando. So Jefferson County's top prosecutor, Jarena Weathers, wants to hold the parents of youth violent offenders accountable amid rising juvenile crime. But to do that, she would need legislative support. As Wave News reporter Lena Noakes learned, still a lot of questions about what that may look like.
Yeah, Brian, from what I can find, there is very little precedent for parental criminal accountability spelled out in any state law, at least when it comes to deadly shootings. But lawmakers I talked to are open to all options to address the rising youth crime problem.
It is time for bold action and new solutions.
As Commonwealth's Attorney Jarena Weathers calls for parents of violent youth offenders to face prosecution, her hands are tied without legislative support and ultimately some kind of legislative action. In most states, including Kentucky, laws on the books currently only have civil penalties for parents of children who commit crimes, and most of them deal with some kind of property damage. Civil penalties also extend to states like Nevada, one of the very few states that do find parents who know their child intends to use a gun to commit a crime liable for that child's actions.
I'm sure there's legislatures and others that are really uncomfortable with this subject, and I get it. But we have to start somewhere.
State Representative Jared Bowman of Louisville agrees with making big legal changes. In 2024, he expanded the criminal severity of some felonies and their penalties under House Bill 5, also known as the Safer Kentucky Act. He also voted for Senate Bill 20, which allows some juveniles charged with gun crimes to be prosecuted as adults in circuit court.
It is absolutely the #1 issue in the city of Louisville right now is juvenile crime. It continues to plague us, and we need everyone involved to solve this issue. We need all 3 branches of government working together.
Weathers has said this legislation would be looking to address parents or guardians who turned a blind eye to a child's bad acts. What that may look like remains unclear, including whether possible prosecution would be civil or criminal.
Well, if we do go down that path, is it a civil penalty? Is it a criminal penalty? Is it a combination of both? We'll learn all that as we go through the legislative process and put forward the most effective policy proposal for Kentucky in January of 2026.
Now, I also spoke with State Representatives Rachel Rourke and Jason Nemes over the phone. Both say something needs to be done, but it's still too early to know exactly what that law would look like. Alina Noakes, Wave News.
All right, thank you, Alina. Of course, the state fair going on right now as we take a live look outside from one of our SkyTrack cameras. They are trying to make sure there's no issues with youth. Anyone under the age of 18 has to go with a parent, especially if you're going in the evening time. Either way, it's going to be hot this weekend for the first full weekend of the fair. Tonight is the Texas Roadhouse Concert Series, the headliner Sister Sledge, featuring Sledgendary. So the heat is on, Ryan.
The heat is indeed on.
That's not a Sledgendary song. That's somebody else, but
yeah, there you go.
Same era-ish, right? Sledgendary 70s. I don't know what era the heat is on. 80s maybe?
That might be 80s.
Okay. I'm close. I'm close.
Yeah, you're 10 years off. It's not a huge deal, right, in the grand scheme of things here. Yeah, it is hot outside. We definitely are going to be seeing the heat persist for most of the Kentucky State Fair throughout the next week and some change here. You're noticing it is 91 here in Louisville right now. Jeffersonville, 93, Salem, Seymour, 90 even. It's hot no matter where you are in wave country. The only spot seeing some relief from some of the heat with isolated downpours are areas near Valley Station with a little downpour that has popped up just south of the Gene Snyder there. And once again near Bloomfield and Taylorsville. You guys have some pop-up showers in that area. There are no lightning strikes on the radar at this point, and we are continuing to watch some of these smaller showers in southern Kentucky. As we head throughout the next several hours, things will be be mainly dry, just that small shower chance. You'll notice over the next 12 hours that temperatures will only fall into the 70s as we head throughout the overnight and early tomorrow morning. Coming up on the 10-day earliest alert, we'll talk a little bit more about the Kentucky State Fair forecast, the hottest weather of 2025 that might be in the cards, and some cooler air. It's ahead in just minutes, Brian.
Good deal, Ryan. Thank you. Still to come here on Wave News at 6. We've talked a lot about the upcoming football season for the Cards, but what about high school football? We'll take a look at Ballard's team ahead in sports. And people who have cases in a Jefferson County circuit or district court will soon have to pay even more in fees. We'll tell you why after the break.